Hello everyone, welcome to Shorthand Battle. I am Divya and I am going to dictate you a parliamentary matter of 1200 words at the speed of 140 words per minute. So be ready for it. 3, 2, 1 and go. Mr. Vice Chairman Sir, the Plantations Labour Bill 1973 was introduced in the Rajya Sabha on the 6th March 1973. Then it was referred to a joint committee of both the houses and this joint committee submitted its report in 1975. Now we are discussing this bill today after 6 years of the submission of the report by the joint committee. Hence, the bill would not be able to deal with the present day expectation of the workers of the plantations. The original act in regard to the plantation labour, namely the Act of 1951 itself provided various welfare measures for the plantation labour. But unfortunately, the planters nonchalantly violated all these provisions for welfare measures. The main question, therefore, is the question of implementation of the various provisions of the Act. Mere amendments will not improve the position. There is no provision in the present bill also as to how these measures, these provisions can be implemented and what the government is thinking in terms of implementing these provisions. In most cases, even the government officials who are deputed for the purpose of inspecting the gardens, they themselves side with the planters. If government officers themselves side with the planters, where is the remedy? Hence, we should devise ways and means and adopt measures so that the provisions which are made in the Act and the present bill are implemented properly. Sir, the provisions in the present bill fall for short of the expectations of the working population in the plantations. In the present bill, it has been suggested that the acreage of the plantations in regard to which this act will be applied will be reduced to 5 hectares. But this is also not sufficient because under this also the owners, the planters will take shelter and many of the plantations will still remain uncovered. This should be further reduced to 2.5 hectares. So far as compensation for house collapse is concerned, it has been said here that if the occupant of a house is directly responsible for the collapse, he will not be entitled to compensation. Under this provision, sir, the employers will take shelter and deprive many workers of getting compensation. Sir, it is known to everybody that the plantation industry is the biggest foreign exchange earning industry. Mr. Vice Chairman, sir, I would like to speak on this bill in the interest of the rapid economic growth in the country. If the nation grows from strength to strength economically, leading to eradication of the degrading and disheartening poverty of the people of India, the workers of this nation would also benefit and they would also go above the poverty line. Sir, I would like to mention here that the plantation crops as understood by the term so far, namely coffee, rubber, tea and cardamom, have been giving this nation substantial amount of much coveted foreign exchange annually. It must be noted that coffee exports alone have given our country during the last 5 years over rupees 1000 crores in foreign exchange by way of export earnings and export duties. I must also bring to the attention of this house that the famed tea industry in India today has become a sick industry affecting lakhs of workers and the tea planters. Sir, we ought to know that in the agricultural sector, the plantation labour is the best organized one and is getting nearly the same treatment, facilities and amenities like the industrial labour. Sir, coming from a plantation district of Karnataka, I sincerely agree that the welfare measures provided in the Act must be faithfully implemented and strictly enforced. But I cannot subscribe to the view taken by some that the planters generally are exploiters and are inimical to the interests of their own workers and that they must be dealt with severely. Sir, most of the planters of today are educated and they know that contented labor is conducive to productivity and peace in the estates and therefore would like to provide all the welfare measures and amenities to the workers. Sir, I would like to point out some of the very draconian, discriminatory and invidious urban directed amendments made in the Plantation Labour Amendment Bill 1973. Sir, the Plantations Labour Act is sought to be applied now even to holdings of 5 hectares and above employing 15 persons and more. Originally in the bill brought before the Joint Committee, it was sought to be applied to holdings of 6.5 hectares and above. It would be realistic to make an amendment to the present bill to raise the size of holdings from 5 hectares to 6.5 hectares. Mr. Vice Chairman Sir, I welcome the budget proposals for the year 1982 to 83 which are all comprehensive and which embrace most of the development plans that we have envisaged for the establishment of a socialistic society in this country. In spite of the taxation and the introduction of fresh duties, we find that the Finance Minister has succeeded in disturbing only a microscopic section of the people of this country to extract sufficient funds for our schemes. The Finance Minister has also succeeded in finding funds for almost all the development plans of this country which will add to our good. While we discuss the general aspects of the budget, we will have to consider the activities of most of the sections that are now covered in the budget. Even though the provisions are there, I think, sir, the expenditure on some of the activities envisaged in this budget should be subjected to a thorough scrutiny. In this respect, sir, I wish to bring to the notice of this House the special feature of the educational system of this country. Some of the members have mentioned something about the educational system of this country, have remarked that the allocation of funds is not adequate and that the provisions should be revised according to the needs of this country. As the honorable member was speaking in Hindi, I did not thoroughly understand what he meant, but still, sir, the educational system has created a sort of confusion in our country over the last 15 years, and every now and then we had been changing the schemes and plans for educating our children, and various states have adopted different schemes which have actually created a feeling of disintegration among the people of this country. In some of the states, they have switched on to the regional language as the medium of instruction, and in some states they think that English should be retained as the medium of instruction. But the people believe that the medium of instruction should be Hindi, that is the national language of our country. But sir, the time is not yet ripe for us to switch on to Hindi. So as when we find it feasible, we may switch on to our national language, but till that time we will keep English as the medium of instruction in all educational institutions. Stop.